Hi, I'm Suzanne Barron, founder of Christ the True Light. In today's video, I want to talk about Ezekiel chapters 1 through 10. I'm not going to read the entire 10 chapters. I'm going to focus on chapter 1 and just a little portion of chapter 10, but I'm really going to focus on chapter 1. What I want to talk about is what is it that Ezekiel actually saw. So, our Christian society, I'm struggling to keep things going here right now, trying to get my little video set up. They understand that Ezekiel sees this like inaugural vision of God sitting on his throne. And they understand that the meaning of it was meant to show that God's throne was always on the move. Even though Ezekiel was in exile. They were in exile at beside the flood of Chebar. They were in exile. I'm not an eloquent speaker, okay? But he sees this amazing vision. What he sees is a chariot. Now I want you to imagine a chariot. You know, you got horses. There's no horses in this imagery. But he looks out into this bright cloud and he sees like this wheel that's like made of metal. And inside of this wheel, he sees like an ember light, a big glowing light. And then things begin to get clearer for him. And then he understands that he's seeing like a chariot. You have a spirit that's sitting on top of this like emerald glass sheet. It was like sapphire clear, and it had these wheels, so like 4 wheels. I'm going to put pictures up so you can see this visually. And he saw these angels that are later described as cherubim in chapter 10, I believe. But they have 4 faces. They have one is an ox, one is a man, a lion, and an eagle. It has 4 faces and it has 6 wings, and there's eyes all over the creatures, and on the wheels there's eyes all over it. And this is like imagery that we see quite often. And the world says what he's seeing is angels. He sees the cherubim as angels, and he sees the wheels. They're called ophanims. And then he sees this throne, this like glass sheet with the spirit sitting on top of it. And it's hard for me to describe what the Christians see, because I see something totally different. I see the kingdom of God. And they see that. They see that God showing him a vision of Christ, the Spirit of God, dwelling on his throne, and that it's in constant motion all the time. It's consistently moving. But this correlates with the tabernacle and the big bright glory light that was sitting on top of the tabernacle. All right. And Jesus saying, I will rebuild this temple, meaning that we are the temple of God. So this imagery that Ezekiel is seeing is you. He's seeing the kingdom of God inside of human flesh. He's visually seeing what's inside. Now, visions are hard to describe. They're very difficult. So he did the best he could to use simulize to compare things to, so that he can kind of describe what he saw, because he was the only person that saw it. Nobody else saw the vision. I have had a vision similar to this myself. Similar. But what he sees are these angels and these wheels. So I'm going to read it. It's chapter 1. I'm just going to read 1, and then I want to describe things about it. And then I'm going to read chapter 10, the verse in chapter 10, where it shows the eyes. Now, I also want to let you know that this vision is Illuminati with the all-seeing eye. The eyes in every direction. It's in here. Okay, so Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 1. And it was done in the 13th year, and the 4th month, and the 5th day of the month, when I was in the midst of the captives. So he was exiled or exiles beside the flood or River Chebar. The heavens were opened, and I saw the revelations of God. And the 5th day of the month. Now the word revelation is important because some people don't understand what that means. My pastor described it to me like this. It means a mystery revealed. So he saw revelations of God. He was seeing a mystery and it's being revealed to him so he can understand something. Mystery, revelation means mystery revealed. Now I want you to imagine there's a pot of something sitting on your stove and you have no idea what it is, what the pot is, what's inside, what's cooking, what's brewing in there. You don't know because it's got a lid on it. But when you take that lid off, the mystery's been revealed and you can see what's inside the pot. That's what's happening. The lid is being taken off and he's getting to see stuff. The book of Revelation is the same. The lid has been removed and you get to see what is inside that pot, the truth. It says, in the 5th day of the month, that is the 5th year of the passing over or the captivity of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, the word of the Lord was made to Ezekiel. The word of the Lord was made to Ezekiel. Now, this fits in when I say the word of God came to and spoke audibly to his prophets. He gives them visions. It was made to him. So he's hearing the voice of God. The word of the Lord was made to him. He is hearing the voice of God. The priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldees, or the Chaldeans, and you have to understand I'm also reading from a Wycliffe version, okay? This is a first English translation. If you're a follower, then you understand what I'm saying when I say that. So I repeat it because it repeats it here. It literally says, in the land of Chaldees, or the Chaldeans. Beside the flood, or river, Chebar, and the hand of the Lord was made there on him. So what's the difference between his hand and his word? His hand is like visions and stuff like that, visions. The word is his voice. The hand of the Lord was made there on him. And I saw, and lo, a whirlwind came from the north, and a great cloud, and fire wrapping in, or in wrapping itself, so it's like in, wrapping around, fire all around, just like in and out, in and out, in and out. And brightness in the compass thereof. And as the likeness of electrum from the midst thereof, there is from the midst of the fire. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, I had to look up that word electrum, and then my phone jumped it, but it's metal. What it is it says it's a natural or artificial alloy of gold with at least 20% of silver. It's alloy, yellow alloy of gold and silver. So he's seeing this golden wheel is what it's going to turn out to be from the midst of the fire. And of the midst, this is chapter 1, verse 5. And of the midst thereof was a likeness of 4 beasts. So now he's seeing these creatures. And this was the beholding or appearance of them. So this is the imagery of the cherubim. It's probably already there. Okay, you're going to see this imagery. The likeness of a man in those, or in each one. And 4 faces were to one, or to each. And 4 wings were to one. And the feet of those were straight feet, and the soles of the foot of those was as the sole of a foot of a calf, and sparkles. And the beholding of boiling brass or bronze. And the hands of a man were under the wings of those in 4 parts, and those had faces and wings by 4 parts. And the wings of those were joined together to one to another. They turned not again when they went, but each went before his face or straight ahead. So they consistently moved straight, constantly going in a straight motion. They never turned, okay? They turned not again. Forsook the likeness of the face of those was the face of a man, and the face of a lion at the right half, and or side of these 4. Forsooth the face of an ox was at the left half, or side of those 4, and the face of an eagle was above those 4. And the faces of those and the wings of those were stretched forth above. 2 wings of each were joined together in twain, or 2 covered the bodies of those, or them. All right, I'm going to stop here for a second. Now, why are we seeing that Christian society says that the lion was strength, the human means it's like a human, and then like the eagle means like wisdom, and there's like symbolism for each of those four four animals, those four faces, that they have different symbolic meanings. That's not at all what I see. Now, you have to understand that a lot of Christians in the world do not believe that animals have souls. They believe that animals they don't have souls. There's no soul inside of a human, inside of the animals. But the Wycliffe version specifically says in Genesis 1, and I want to put stress to the importance of why I use the Wycliffe version. It is our first English translation. We've had many different translations since then. This is the first English translation. This is a modernized version of it, sure, but the man, I trust him. He's done a lot of homework. When you purchase the Bible, you can see that the studies he's done. You can research it and do it yourself, and you can see these things. You can pull up older versions like 1700s on the Internet Archives, and you can actually see that the words are there. They're just spelt very weird because the way people spoke back then. But you can see living soul in Genesis 1 when God created the animals. God put a living soul inside of the animals. He put the breath of life inside of the animals too. They are breathing air. They have life in them. That is a soul. And our newer text does not tell us that that there is a soul inside of the animals. Nowhere in our newer text does it say that animals have souls. And that is why our Christians are teaching that they don't, because it's been removed from Scripture. It's been removed. So when a removed verse, living soul inside of the animals, they do not correlate this imagery to animals. God could have put a million different faces on this creature and it would have been the same thing, but he only fit 4 because it was a vision. It's meant for us to understand that we are no different than the animals. The animals have souls, we have souls. This cherubim with the 4 faces and the 4 wings is what you become when you die. You become one of these creatures when you die. Inside of a kingdom. You join a kingdom when you die, and you become part of a kingdom. And that is the creature. You are not a creature right now because you are alive. You still have flesh on your body, and you are still walking in the realm of the flesh. You are not a creature. But when you die, you will become a creature. And those creatures are Illuminati. They are Illuminati. All right. Now it gets deeper because I'm talking about the wheels in a minute. All right. Verse 11. And the faces of the wings of those were stretched forth above. 2 wings of each were joined together, and twain or 2 covered the bodies of those of them. I spoke to a coworker about this today. She's reading my book, and I thought to do this video because it's important that people see this. And I said, do you understand how hard it is to get people to understand this? And she said, yeah, it is very hard to understand this right here. The book of Revelation in the New Testament is very hard to dissect. A lot of people don't even talk or preach on it, especially with Revelation, because it comes with a warning. And they're too afraid to even speak on it because they don't want to speak something that's not true. Because it warns you not to do that. The book of Revelation. The 2 wings of each were joined together, and twain of 2 covered the bodies of those. And each of those went before his face or straight ahead. Wherever the fierceness of the wind was, thither they went, and turned not again when they went. And the likeness of the beast, so he's calling them beasts now, with these 4-faced creatures, he's calling them beasts, and the beholding of them was as of burning coals and fire, and as the beholding of lamps. So you've got fire, and you've also got lamps. That's important to understand, okay? I'm not going to talk on those things. I want you to read the blog. I'm going to put the link in the bottom so you can understand the difference between the lamp, which is a light that lighteth you, or the burning coals in the fire. It has 2 different meanings. This was the sight running about in the midst of the beast, the shining of fire and the lightning going out of the fire. And the beast went and turned again at the likeness of lightning shining, lightning shining, a light, lamps, a light that lighteth you. There is a light, a very light that lighteth each man that comes into this world. These creatures were like lightning, okay? And that lightning that lighteth each man that comes into this world. So it's inside of you. This is inside of you. And when I beheld the beast, one wheel, so now we're talking about the wheel, having 4 faces appeared on the ground beside the beast. And the beholding of the wheels and the work of those was as the sight of the sea. And one likeness was these 4. So they're all the same likeness. All right. And the beholding of the works of them as if a wheel be in the midst of a wheel. So it's like a gyroscope. Okay. You're looking at the images of this right now. It looks like a gyroscope. Those are they going went by 4 parts of them or them and turned not again when those or they went. So you see 4 wheels, right? And they're all going in the same direction. And they all look exactly the same. 4 wheels, and it's on the chariot. Now I want you to imagine your vehicle, your Camry, Toyota Camry. It has 4 wheels. Okay, this is important imagery for me to bring in our modern day chariots today because I need to prove something to you. Your car has 4 wheels. This is what you're seeing. You're seeing in Ezekiel's vision, you are seeing a car. Now, every car has a driver, does it not? It can't drive on its own, not supposed to anyways, Elon Musk, Tesla, but it has a driver, all right? Even in the technology, there's still a driver, but I'm not going to talk about that here. It's driving. That is what you're seeing. You're seeing these 4 wheels, this glass sheet, this spirit sitting on top of the sheet. That's the driver, all right? But you're also seeing these creatures. Now, what are these creatures doing? All right, so verse 17, those are they went by 4 parts of them or them and turned not again when those or they went. Also stature and highness and horrible beholding was of the wheels and of the body. Horrible beholding, meaning it was like scary. It was hard to behold this. It's like amazingly horrifying. There's verses that say, be not afraid. Spirit would come to a person and it would say, be not afraid. You're horrified by this imagery. Even though it's beautiful, it's not meant to harm you. You're still in like, wow. It's horrifying. And when you experience visions, they are horrifying. When you're going through psychosis, which fits into my mental health, and God is giving you visions and you are in psychosis and having a psychotic break, God is speaking to you with his hand on you and you're seeing things in your psychotic break, it's horrifying. Thereby, psychotic break. Beholding was the wheels, and all the body of them was full of eyes in the compass of those. Now they see there's eyes all over this wheel, these wheels. You're seeing images of it right now. And when the beast went, so you've got these beasts and these wheels. The wheels also went together beside those or them. And when the beast was raised up from the earth, the wheels were also raised up together. So the wheels did not move until the beast moved, and they went up together. Wherever the spirit went, when the spirit went thither, also the wheels pursuing or following, it raised up together with them. For why the spirit of life was inside the wheels. Please read the post because this becomes clearer. You have this spirit sitting on this throne, and you have these creatures, and you have these wheels. You have what our Christian world says are 3 different angels, 3 different spirits. It says, for why the spirit of life was inside the wheels. Wherever the spirit went, when the spirit went thither, all the wheels pursuing or following it were raised up together. For why the spirit of life was in the wheels. So this image is a chariot wheel, chariot car, with these creatures sitting next to these wheels, and then these wheels. But in reality, what you see is one angel, one thing. You see these wheels, and inside the wheel is this angel, this creature, okay? This creature. And there's a glowing light inside that creature, and that is Christ. The creatures are the members of his body. The city does not need the sun or moon. A city, this is a city you are looking at. It's so hard to get people to see this. God did this multiple times in Scripture, many different ways. The city does not need the sun or moon to give its light, for the Lamb is its lamp. This bright light is the man you see sitting on the throne. Okay? The city has members in it. Those are the cherubims. They are the creatures. All animals, all people joining into the kingdom. Now this wheel, what is this wheel? This wheel is your human flesh. You, as human flesh, still alive, are a wheel. And this kingdom, this city, is inside of you. This is what you were seeing with Ezekiel's vision. This, in a nutshell, that is what you are seeing. You are seeing God sitting on his throne inside of you. He lives in you. This fits into my ministry lessons about how technology and AI and existential threats and how it's going to destroy this planet, wipe out all breathing life. And what would that do to that spirit that lives in you? The vineyard is in you. Heaven, God's realm, is in you. When you die, you join the earth. You go back to which you came. You become a creature that drives these wheels. You help to drive the wheels when you die. Who are the wheels? They are the humans. That's this vision over and over again. Tabernacle. Jesus said, I will build this tent. Inside of his tomb, two angels were sitting on his deathbed. You have the city does not need the sun or moon to give its light, for the Lamb is its lamp. The Lamb slain from the creation of the world. So this is a vulnerable God. A vulnerable God. Artificial intelligence, extinction, vulnerable God. Verse 21, those are they went with the beast going, and those stood with the beast standing. And with the beast raised up from the earth, also the wheels pursuing or following together, those beasts were raised up together with them, for the spirit of life was in the wheels. Spirit of life was in the wheels. There's a breath of life in you. The spirit of life was in the wheels. John 1. In him was life. And that life was the light of all mankind. That life was the light of all mankind. For the spirit of life was in the wheels. You are the wheel. You are the wheel in this vision. And his throne is constantly in motion, constantly moving, constantly driving you. How is Illuminati controlling the world? They are driving us, both good and bad. Careful that that light, that man sitting on the throne, Jesus said this, careful that the light in you is not dark, a dark light with members, demons that possess you. They're cherubims, they're creatures. They're not the animals that turned into demons. Humans turn into demons. Animals do not turn into demons. We are the ones destroying in the earth. Verse 22, and the likeness of the firmament was above the heads of the beasts, and as the beholding, or horrible, or awful, or amazing, crystal, and stretched abroad on the heads of those beasts above. So the beasts are standing here. This is where you're seeing the chariot table, the table where the throne was sitting on top of. Above the heads, you are seeing this glass sheet, the imagery. Look at the imagery. And you're seeing this chariot with these wheels. All right. Forsooth, under the firmament, the wings of those beasts were, no, back to 22. And the likeness of the firmament was above the heads. This firmament, this land, this piece of sheet, that's the firmament, was above the heads of the beast. And as the beholding of horrible or all full or amazing crystal, and stretched above on the heads of these beasts above, so sitting above the heads of the beast. Forsooth, under the firmament, under it, were the wings of those beasts, right? Or went straight out of or from one another. Each beast covered his body with 2 wings, and another was covered in like manner. And I heard the sound of wings, as the sound of many waters, as the sound of the high God. When those went, there was a sound of a multitude, and the sound of hosts in battle. You're in battle. That's going to fit with the lightning and the fire, or the darkness and the light. A battlefield is taking place. Inside of this kingdom realm, there is a war going on. Battle. And when those stood, the wings of those were left. For why, when a voice was made on the firmament that was on the heads of those, or them, those or they stood and let down their wings. And on the firmament that was above the heads of those was as the beholding appearance of sapphire stone, and the likeness of a throne. So we're talking about this throne sitting on this sheet. The likeness of a throne was the likeness, and the beholding of a man sitting upon it. So this is Christ. This man sitting on his throne is Christ. This is the Spirit of life. For why the Spirit of life was inside the wheels. This is the same Spirit that dwelled on top of the ark in the tabernacle with the big glory light. That's what you're seeing here. So look at the imagery. You're looking at this man sitting on his throne. All right. And I saw as the likeness of an electron, metal, gold, as the beholding of fire within, from the compass thereof. For the loins of him and above, and from the loins of him till to beneath, I saw the likeness of fire, shining in and compass all around, and the beholding or appearance of the rainbow, so that you can understand that this is God, because you know about the rainbow. When it was in the cloud in the day of rain, there was beholding of the shining of compass. That was a sight of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. So what he's seeing is the glory of God. There's other verses where the seraphim are seeing God's glory fills all the people. There was a very light that lighteth each man that comes into this world. This glory light is in all people. It lives in us all. But be careful that the light in you is not dark, is what Jesus said. This is Illuminati, a light that enlightens your mind. Illuminati. Now, there is a verse that says that the Ezekiel verse where the wings had eyes in all directions. It's chapter 10, like I said, 10:12. So these creatures, it takes him 10 chapters to tell you that the creatures have eyes in all directions. The all-seeing eye. 10:12. Illuminati. And all the body of those wheels, and the neck and hands and wings of the beast, and the circles were full of eyes, and the compass of the wheels, full of eyes all over the wheels and the creatures. Eyes. NIV says, NIV version, Ezekiel 10:12. Entirely full of eyes, everywhere. Eyes looking in every direction. The all-seeing eye. This is Illuminati. Now, talking about cars, okay, with this cherubim. This is how God does this. You create art. How is he driving people? How's Illuminati control or drive people? I want you to imagine this is you. God is sitting on his throne. Those creatures are the many members, schizophrenic voices, many voices, okay? Voices, plural, the multitude, all right? All right, and that's inside of you. Science even proves that the voices are coming from inside of the patient with schizophrenic patients when they're not even speaking. They've done science. They've registered voices coming from inside the patients, and they call it subvocal voices. but it's registered. It's really happening. So science confirms the voices, plural, of a schizophrenic patient is coming from inside their physical body. Voices. But that machine picked up those voices. So if those voices were picked up by the machine, that means those voices are really there. I'll put that on the link somewhere so you can read that post about the science testing. All right, I'll put some links. Please read the links. All right, so these voices are there. Now, these creatures are inside you. You are the wheel. So God is telling these creatures, go left. So the creatures say, come on, wheel, let's go left. God says, creatures, take a right. The creatures say, come on, wheel, take a right. These wheels do nothing on their own. They are controlled by the angels, the beasts, the creatures. The creatures receive their instruction from their master. They're the driver. I'm the driver. I'm Christ. I'm driving this car. I need you to turn left. Okay, wheels, let's turn left. I need you to turn right. Turn right. That's how this works. I need you to create a logo for a car. That's what he said. He said this to an angel somewhere. To a creature. Creatures told wheel to create a logo. As a human being, this human is just creating art, has no idea what's happening inside their human flesh. This is the truth. And they create logos all over the place for 100 years. Car logos for cars. Right? The wheels. How many car logos have wings? How many cars have 4 wheels? This is called subliminal messaging for over 100 years. Aston Martin, Chrysler. The newest one is called Genesis. How is this happening? This is how Illuminati works. This is God's finger actively working to prove his own existence in nearly a tangible way. Can you see God in the creation of things? Subliminal messaging, the predictions to the futures. It's the Simpsons, Illuminati, the Illuminati New World Order card game. How many predictions have come true? Humans are not physically capable of doing this, but it's happening. Art, those cards are created by somebody's mind, right? It's a card game. It's just a card game. And all these things are taking place, what's on those cards, which is like cartoon-looking art. And it's coming true. But it happened, that came from a man sitting down creating a card game. This is the truth to the Illuminati. This is the truth to Ezekiel's vision. The Illuminati are not human. They are the creatures. And when you die, when you physically die, you become one of those creatures. Whether you become a creature for good or a creature for bad, that depends on the life you live here in this world. Because remember, there's a war taking place. Remember I said that? There's a battlefield going on. This vision was not meant to just be good. It was meant for us to understand the difference between good and bad, the burning coals, the fire, and the light shining. The difference between the two. Please visit my website, www.christthetruelight.com. Please share this post. Please help me reach people. Thank you.